Buzz Sawyer.
You know who I am, and so does the people know who I am. And one Kevin Sullivan knows who I am. Look at me, Sullivan, because you're going to be seeing a lot of me. You know I led him all around the country. I used to put him in the back seat. I used to teach him how to lift weights. I taught him everything he knew. He'd see a pretty woman, he'd say, Buzz, what do I do? I'd say, just watch me. It's getting serious, baby. It's getting heavy. And the heavier it gets, the madder I get. And the madder I get, the faster you're going down,
Team championship. And, of course, the two gentlemen who are with me right now, Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen, thus far $50,000 richer, as they have won two of the regional tournaments. However, there are some people who look to stop that win streak.
Name somebody who can stop Ole Anderson and myself. You think the Briscoes can do it? You think the Funk? You think that Dusty Rhodes and a partner? Do you think anybody, Terry Funk, you name off all these people that love to try to stop Ole Anderson ourselves. We don't do nothing but get out there and wrestle hard and rugged and nasty, and that's why we come out winners.
Well, I think he said everything there is to say. I think the only thing left is to find somebody that might be able to beat us. I don't care where you go, if it's in Greensboro, North Carolina, or Charlotte, North Carolina, or St. Petersburg, Florida, or the Omni, or Columbus, any of those places that they talk about where wrestling takes place. They're still looking. They're still trying to find somebody that can beat us. And I happen to know when they talk about Dusty Rhodes as a possibility, they're making a big mistake. When they talk about Terry Funk, they're talking about the wrong man. Because we've got something here that I think you would be interested in seeing. Maybe the people would be interested in remembering how Dusty Rhodes one time looked when he was going against me. How Terry Funk looked when he went against Stan and I. They didn't look too good. Why don't you show them? Quit talking about it, because a lot of people need to be convinced by seeing what we're talking about.
All right, we have something here that I think all of you will find most interesting. First of all, let's listen to these comments from the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Ole Anderson laying down could not take me out with a steel-toe boot, could not put me away with a steel-toe boot. And I'm going to say this right now and get it through your head until you have a broken back, until you have a broken neck, until your bodies are broken and beaten. Both of you, this thing will never be over.
Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, in action right now.
All right, get that out of here. That's not what I'm talking about. See right away when I come out here, you got... Oh, now, okay, that's all right. That's a little better now.
Oh, I see.
No, not you see. Another match. They're putting several matches together here. Great. Well, they show the wrong... I mean, you know, I told them to put together a piece of film that would show me... Well, here, I was just kind of laying back right there. Dusty Rhodes is good. No argument. Dusty Rhodes should have been disqualified. Dusty Rhodes might be good, but I'll tell you what, I'm better. And with Stan Hansen, I'm impossible to beat. There's no way.
Ole is so prejudiced. Everybody around here on television is so prejudiced.
Look at it.
Yeah, now we're beginning to see something. But before I had to show Dusty doing it, anybody can take a film in football or whatever and take the good plays and make him look good. But when you grade the whole film, it's, it's whatever. Now, this is what we're talking about. This is what Ole Anderson can do to Dusty Rhodes. This is what he can do. This is what he can do when I'm his partner. Whether he's got Terry Funk or the Briscoes as partner or Tommy Rich, it doesn't matter. See, look at Dusty all the time. Does he hit with the fist? Does the referee get on him? No, because it's prejudice against me and Ole, against guys like Big John Studd. Now, hey, that's it.
Yeah, let's pick this up. Let's pick this up if it happened, please.
Look how stupid.
And again. And no, sir, Anderson is not having any part of it. Anderson now into a battle with Terry Funk, and we've got a free-for-all going here. Stan Hansen trying to break it up, and the unity has been broken between these three. Now the Samoan is in there. And it is Stan and Hansen single-handedly wiping out the ring at this particular time. And now it's Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson both after Terry Funk, and we're trying to get some orderly score here. Trying to get these men separated. And, wow, what can I tell you? And they've got 2 against 1 now. The second referee, Scrappy McGowan, coming in there trying to rectify the situation, trying to get some orderly scores. You have a sore rib. And Terry Funk taking tremendous punishment here.
And I'm going to say this right now and get it through your head until you have a broken back, until you have a broken neck, until your bodies are broken and beaten. Both of you, this thing will never
be over.
You know, it's great. A guy can always talk afterwards. But the proof is in the pudding. You take a look at Rhodes, he's on his backside. You take a look at Funk, he's on his backside. And I don't care what they say after. They can go down to the bars, or they can tell these people here who don't know up from down. All they want to tell them, we're going to show you what we can do.
That's right, he said. Just what he said. Talk is cheap. When we get in the ring here on television with Omni, Greensboro, it doesn't matter, Tampa, Florida, we get in there and do the job on our opponents. That's why it makes us so good, Gordon.
Well, fair enough. We've heard the comments. I think we've seen and heard both sides, if you will. And right now we're watching these two men, and they are an awesome combination. But their faces...
No good for nothing person. You know, I used to drive him around the country and make sure that he got in the ring on time, made sure that he was the one that got the money when we won the matches. He never lost any matches. He's a loser. First Sawyer's the winner. Look at him there wrestling. He couldn't wrestle if he had to. He makes me sick, and he's a coward, too.
Those comments from Buzz Sawyer, and Mr. Sawyer is going to have to be a little careful about it. Wait a second, and we've got problems here already. Sullivan very quickly inviting Sawyer into the ring, and Thor having his problems as Sullivan continues to press his advantage on Rick Thor. Thor in trouble on those ropes, and Sullivan catches him a hard right hand to the head. The Boston Battler, wait a minute. It appeared to me Mr. Sawyer was...
You know as well as I do, Gordon Soley, when Buzz Sawyer gets in the ring, he goes out there and wrestles, and may I say, I am not one, I am the finest wrestler in the country today. Like earlier in the first program, you saw how I defeated my opponent, belly to back, suplex, and my rider and my rope. Kevin Sullivan isn't worth the time of day. I've carried him too long. He's nothing to me. He don't mean nothing to nobody, and the people don't even like him. They all love me. Look at me. I'm so beautiful. How could you help but to love a face like this?
Thor having his problems now as Sullivan continues to press his advantage, and the Boston Battler.
The Boston Battler, the Boston nothing's what he is. I tell you what, every place we go, he'd say, Buzz Sawyer, teach me a fireman's trade. Buzz Sawyer, teach me this. We'd win every night. Any time that we was defeated as a team, it was Kevin Sullivan's shoulders down, 1, 2, 3. You've never seen Buzz Sawyer's shoulders down, as you well know.
Now it is Sullivan continuing to press his advantage now on Rick Thor, and has Thor...
You know, I come to one speculation. His mother must have dropped him on his head when he was young, because obviously he has no brains in there.
Well, Mr. Sawyer... Mr. Sawyer obviously is entitled to an opinion, and of course we're getting quite a bit of that at this point in time. I might point out in deference here to Kevin Sullivan, who's not here to answer these comments, that certainly when he took...
Sullivan wouldn't answer him anyway. He's a coward. Buzz Sawyer's the one that had all the guts. Buzz Sawyer's the one with all the money. Buzz Sawyer's the one with the beautiful face. Hey, you better watch the man in the ring and not look at me, you phony.
I ain't looking at much, jerk. I ain't looking at much, jerk.
Well, the two of them throwing invectives back to each other, and...
You can talk a lot.
They'll probably lose this match because you don't have me in the corner to supervise him.
Really?
You can talk a lot. I don't see much action, big mouth.
Thor continues to take a lot of punishment here at the hands of Kevin Sullivan, and...
You know the world record that Kevin Sullivan was talking about, telling everybody that he squatted 400 and some pounds 26 times. Well, he squatted 26 pounds 400 times is the real story. I was there, and I had to help him on the last couple. I taught Kevin Sullivan how to work out. I taught Kevin Sullivan everything he knows. So you well know, Mr. Soley, with the experience you've had in wrestling, the man that teaches is the man that's never beat.
Well, may I just say that Sullivan appears to be, if that is the case, a very apt pupil, because he has Mr. Thor in continuing trouble here in the ring.
Oh, he's always in trouble. Like I said, if I'm not there, he has no... I think I'll go up and look at him a little bit.
Well, we got to watch this one very, very carefully now, because... and it was Thor Thor taking advantage of a situation there, and I can't say that I blame him. Sullivan had his back turned, and now it is Sullivan catching him with a good shoulder smash coming off the rope. Sullivan now closes in into an inside cradle. Has him... well, I'll tell you what. We've got him battling it out right here on the floor. And it is Buzz Sawyer and Kevin Sullivan battling it out on the concrete. The referee, Nick Patrick, trying to get them separated here. And a clear sixer between these two as the tempers finally exploded. And we're going to have to get some order restored. We've got men out here, and, well, we'll be back as soon as we get some order restored. We'll be back in just a moment. Stood like some equal time.
Equal time, nothing. Buzz Sawyer, let me tell you something. You know, I heard you out here running your mouth that you were the main thing in the team. I took you, you slime, out of a cesspool, and I'm going to send you back right there.
Yeah? Not bad, Leroy Brown. Of course, he's going to be going on tour, and you got a lot of places to go.
Hey, Gordon, that's right. I'm going up to West Virginia. I'm going to Ohio. But the thing we want to talk about, Gordon, is what's been going on around here. You talk about Big John Stutt. You look at the man, him, Super Sawyer. A big man, you can't take nothing away from him. Gordon, but one thing about it, anytime you're over 300 pounds, only thing that separates you from your opponent is how big your heart is, Gordon. And my heart is as big as my body. So, Super Destroyer, John Stutt, get ready. Because it's going to be, whenever we meet, a night to remember, Gordon.
Well, there's no question about that. It will be Wrestling 2, Bad Leroy Brown and Michael Hayes taking on Buzz Sawyer, the Super Destroyer, and Big John Stutt at the Omni in Atlanta on April 4th. Tickets on sale at all seats locations. Wrestling matches and scouting opponents.
Well, you know, I always come out here and I listen to how Gary Hart talks about how mean Kabuki is. I just got a little message for Gary Hart. My personal friends call me Whip Show, the devil's brother-in-law. Lasso the lightning, tackle the thunder, got the whole world in a wonder. Graveyard disposition, tombstone mind, because I'm a mean hombre, Hart, and I don't mind dying. And what that means is, Gordon, that I got a streak in me just as deep and wide and just as mean as Kabuki. And I don't like to hurt folks, like I said, unless I have to, but this is a case I have to. Now, you saw what he can do. He can take your head off. He can chop you, kick you, gouge you. But, you know, if you break one of them little footsies of his, he's going to look funny trying to kick you on one foot. If you take one of those hands and bend it back till you hear it snap, you know, other folks know how to hurt, too. If it takes hurting, then I'm going to give him a hurting for certain. So bring him on. I'll be ready for him, Hart. And as far as your little hyper Rodney Piper, I hope he sticks his nose in because, like I talked to Slater before, he has told me again he's going to put holes in that pretty smile of Rodney Piper's.
Okay, the comments from one very resolute Bob Armstrong. We'll be back on April 4th. Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson against Terry Funk and the American Dream.
You know something? See these letters, S-T-A-N. I'm going to strap it, boy, in the Omni. Let me tell you something. It's a bunk out. I'm going to strap it on the back of Terry Funk and Dusty Rhodes. Anything goes, boys. He's closed. Anything in the Omni. Jack in the Omni.
Georgia Championship Wrestling. April 4th at the Omni, Terry Funk.
You know, in Texas, we go ahead and we compare them into horses a lot. I compare myself to a thoroughbred Dusty Rhodes. Well, he's a little bit chunkier than me. He's a quarter horse. And Stan Hansen and Ole Anderson are a couple of flat land jackasses that can't pull a wagon together. And that's exactly what's going to happen because you're going to see the unbeatable team in the Omni with Dusty Rhodes and I against Hansen and them in a bunkhouse match.
It'll be Sunday, April 4th.
Try to get all kinds of people to...
Piper is back with us again.